Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. I think I'm starting to get a bit of a cold, so apologies if my voice starts breaking a little bit, because either that or I've hit puberty very, very late. But yeah, this is this week's NXT review, and it was a really good show. They said at the start 3 big matches, so we had Nia Jax against Bayley, American Alpha against the Authors of Pain. We had Rhino against Samoa Joe. It was actually that match that started the show. It was okay. It was hard hitting. I thought the psychology was quite smart. You had Joe in the ring. I think one point Joe grabs Rhino's face, kind of pushes him away. He's like, I ain't going anywhere. And Rhino's running into Joe. He can't knock Joe down. He's starting to get frustrated. He does knock Joe down in the end. But I think Joe came across as this, I don't care who you are, you mean nothing to me. And I just thought that really added to this match. It was a very short match. Joe picks up the victory. There was no real kind of major spots or anything, but then, they're just 2 big brutes that are just going to smash 7 bells of hell out of each other. So I wasn't expecting hurricanranas and things like that. But yeah, it was what it was. I don't know where Rhino goes from here. I don't know where Joe goes from here. I mean, surely Joe's on track, a collision course, if you will, with Nakamura. Maybe that'll be his next big feud. Rhino, I think, has just come back just to help them get through this period of uncertainty. Now we know the 6 that have been drafted, those 6 being Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, American Alpha, Mojo Rawley, and Finn Balor. So now we can see a little better how the land lies. You'd have to think that Bayley will get called up on Sunday at Battleground. Sasha needs a mystery partner, how was she not drafted? How did nobody? How was it that those 3? And I've said this in other videos. I have nothing against Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nia Jax. I really rate all 3. I like them. I do. I think they've improved loads as well. I think they all bring something a little different. But you wouldn't select them over Bayley. You might select one of them over Bayley, but you wouldn't select all 3. And that's what happened in the draft. So she's got to be the mystery partner on Sunday. She just has to. Second match, American Alpha against Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain jump Alpha at the start. They start getting led towards the back by the doctors and the refs. I think it was Corey Graves, actually, who was like, don't get refs out here, we need the Marines. It had that kind of real, what is going on kind of feel to it, because they were beating them up and Alpha were on the floor and then they were going out back. And I honestly thought the match wasn't going to happen. But the match does happen. It's a great match. The show of strength from American Alpha is mind-blowing. Both Jordan and Gable powerful enough to pick up these 2 Authors of Pain, and they were just chucking them around. There was belly-to-belly suplexes, and there was German suplexes, which Brock has really brought those back in fashion. The bits that I got written down was that it was hard hitting. There was action inside the ring and outside the ring. There was good tag team work at the start from American Alpha. They needed to work together to really get the advantage, because they were starting from behind because of the fact they'd been jumped. Authors of Pain pick up the victory. It's the right move, because obviously Alpha won't be on NXT anymore, and they need to continue to build up the Authors of Pain. I don't know who they feud with, because they're heels and the Revival are heels, and I don't know what face team they go after. This seems to be a problem. The biggest face team have now left NXT. So you'd have to say that Gargano, Ciampa are now right up there when it comes to tag teams. And in fact, they actually interrupted a Revival interview and said, we've beaten you and we want a chance at those belts. I didn't see a match get made, but you know it will. I think that's going to be the next kind of feud for the Revival, but I don't know what that means for Authors of Pain. And Authors of Pain really need to go after someone or a team or something, because if American Alpha aren't around, or maybe they go, that would be insane. Could you imagine the Authors of Pain turning up on SmackDown and still going after American Alpha on SmackDown? Ooh, I'd be into that. I'd be really into that. Hideo Itami returns in 2 weeks' time, which is awesome. It would be great to have him back. Hopefully we find out who it was that jumped him. I think it was always meant to be Kevin Owens as the person that had done that, but we'll have to see. Patrick Clark, first time I've seen Patrick Clark from Tough Enough. He was in this awful American attire. I've nothing against people showing their nationality and their support for certain relevant nationalities, but it just didn't. I didn't think it was executed very well on his ring attire. He was going up against Austin Aries. It was pretty much all Austin Aries. Aries picks up the victory with the last chancery. And then No Way Jose came down, started beating up on Aries, like out of nowhere. It was absolutely brilliant. No Way Jose, we haven't seen that side of him. He's always been coming down, having a bit of a boogie and whatnot. And we've not seen that real vicious side, and we needed to see it because we need to see that side of his character. I like this feud, and I want to still see No Way Jose coming out and having his dances and whatnot, but I want to see him turning on that vicious streak. This was good. He was throwing some big fists. There's one point where it kind of looked like he didn't really know what to do because Austin Aries was right here and he'd already been punching him, so he just pushes him into the ring apron. He goes into the LED board, which was really smart. So yeah, I'm into that feud. I think that's got great potential for like a nice takeover match. And then got to the main event being Nia Jax against Bayley. And, you kind of, in a way, feel for Bayley because she wasn't called up. But as I said, I'm fairly sure she gets called up at Battleground. If she doesn't, then I will kick off. I will rant like you have never seen me rant before. I might even write a letter. An angry letter. Dear Vince, idiot. It's but I'm sure she will. So yeah, this match, Nia Jax Bayley, really good, back and forth, pretty even. They've got okay chemistry, and it was a good match. It wasn't a great match. Nia seems to have improved a lot, and she was doing some nice reversals, and the action was a lot smoother. Bayley picks up the victory with a Bayley to belly from the second rope, which was a really smart move. But Nia looked good in this, and I think she'll do a really good job on the main roster. Might be a bit early for her, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think she's going to be thrust to the top of the women's division, which maybe is the wrong way to do it. Maybe she should have stayed down in NXT a little longer and then been thrust to the top of the women's division, and come in like this monster, Instead she was drafted and she didn't get a chance to make that kind of impactful entrance. But as I said, this match was good, and Bayley picks up the victory, and you'd have to think that might be it for these guys. I'm not saying this is the last time you'll see both of them. I don't know what tapings have already been recorded, but I think this week's NXT was very strong, but strong because you've got a lot of people that are good enough to be on the main roster, and as a result were called up to the main roster. Nia Jax, American Alpha, and as we said, potentially Bayley as well. Samoa Joe's ready for the main roster, and had there been more male places, you have to remember this, and this is what I keep forgetting as well, and that is that I think if they needed more solo men, then Nakamura, Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, of course they would have been called up, but that's not what they needed. They needed two tag teams, which is why Mojo Rawley got called up, because he can partner Zack Ryder, who's already up on the roster. There's Hype Bros. American Alpha, there's your other tag team. And then they called up 3 women. And so there was only one kind of spot for one male talent. That was always going to be Finn Balor. So it's just a waiting game. Just a waiting game. I'm sure that Joe and Nakamura's time will come, hopefully sooner rather than later. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching. Just a short one this week because my voice is literally on the verge of going. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed NXT. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, it'd be wicked if you would, because I would really appreciate that. It just helps me to see that I'm on the right path basically with all of this, because this is absolutely trial and error. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Wrestling Days UK, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.